Hello everyone. Today I'm sharing with you, can store design be used across different platforms? This is a question almost every multi-platform seller asks, because the reality is often Taobao has one set, Tmall has another, JD.com has yet another, and Douyin and cross-border e-commerce are still waiting in the queue. Time is limited, and costs are scarce. Naturally, a strong desire arises. Can a single design be used across multiple platforms? The answer isn't a simple yes or no, but rather, what can be used universally and what definitely cannot. Below, I won't discuss design execution, but rather, I'll clarify this from three perspectives: platform logic, user behavior, and the function of store design. First, the conclusion. The form of the design cannot be universal, but the underlying logic must be universal. This is the key to understanding this issue. If you mean copying the entire page exactly as is, the module order is exactly the same, the expression is exactly the same, then the conclusion is clear. It will almost certainly cause problems. However, if you mean consistent brand positioning, consistent core selling points, consistent main promotion logic, then it's not just applicable, it must be applicable. So the real question isn't can it be applicable, but to what level should it be applicable? 2. Why does complete applicability almost always fail? Because users' states when entering a page are completely different across different platforms. A simple comparison: Taobao, Tmall. Users actively search and are willing to browse. JD.com. Users come with a goal and want to select quickly. Douyin. Users are drawn in by content and are driven by emotion. Cross-border platforms. Users are highly rational and prioritize information. If you rigidly apply the same homepage logic, Taobao's logic to Douyin, too slow. Douyin's logic to JD.com, too abstract. Domestic logic to cross-border, incomprehensible. It's not that the design is bad, it's that the user path is different. Third, what three layers are truly applicable? While pages cannot be completely universal, there are three layers that must be unified. First layer, brand positioning and stance, must be universal. Regardless of the platform, users subconsciously judge the same thing. What exactly are you selling? How are you different from others? This includes category positioning, core value direction brand tone, rational, emotional, professional. If this layer isn't consistent, operating across multiple platforms will only become more chaotic. Second layer, core selling points and main promotion logic, highly universal. The expression can differ across platforms, but the skeleton of your selling points must remain consistent. For example, which products are you primarily promoting? What are the core differentiating factors? Which are supplementary options? If Taobao primarily promotes A, JD.com, primarily promotes B, Douyin, primarily promotes C, then users will experience a very strong sense of distrust when seeing you on different platforms. Selling points can be worded differently, but the direction cannot be changed. Layer 3, Visual Basic Guidelines, adjustable and universal, includes basic color scheme, image style layout, and vibe. You can absolutely achieve a look that's instantly recognizable, but each platform is slightly different. This is called visual consistency, not page copying. What things absolutely cannot be universally applied? The following types of content, if forcibly applied across platforms, will almost certainly fail. One-page structure order. Different platforms have different user decision-making orders. The homepage structure must be rearranged. 2. Information density. TikTok should be minimalist. Cross-border e-commerce should have sufficient information. Taobao should be centered. 3. Promotion and incentive methods. Taobao can be aggressive, Tmall should be restrained, JD.com should be clear, TikTok should be direct. These are platform characteristics, not design styles. V. Why do many sellers fail with universality, but look for the wrong reasons? Common misjudgments are: the page looks bad, the design is inadequate, the template was chosen incorrectly. But the real problem is often, you're using the persuasive methods of Platform A to reach users of Platform B. This is like writing an instruction manual with the pace of an advertisement. Even the best copywriting won't work. Visai. What's a more realistic and efficient approach? It's not a one-size-fits-all approach, but rather one underlying logic. Multiple platform expressions. Specifically, this involves unifying brand positioning, unifying core selling points, unifying the main promotional structure, rearranging the order and expressions according to the platform. The benefits of this are: you avoid repeatedly thinking about the same logic. You're simply translating it for different platforms. This is the standard practice for established multi-platform sellers. Seventh, when is forced universality actually reasonable? There's only one exception. You're still in the validation phase from 0 to 1. At this stage, you need quick launch, low-cost testing, verify product's marketability. At this stage, simple pages using a generic structure. Getting it running is acceptable. However, once you enter a stable operation phase, continuing to force a generic approach will start to create efficiency and conversion bottlenecks. A very practical piece of advice for multi-platform sellers: don't pursue perfect on every platform. What you should really pursue is using the right communication style on every platform. When you start designing your store from the perspective of the platform and the user, rather than from the perspective of saving trouble, multi-platform store design will actually become smoother. In short, store design for different platforms. Pages cannot be generic. Logic must be consistent. What can be generic is positioning and direction. What cannot be generic is rhythm and expression. When you clearly distinguish between these two layers, multi-platform store design will not become increasingly chaotic.